Feel good, cameras?
I'm good. Yep.
Pete, is there anything particular about Taysom's skill set that makes him really good in those goal line, short yard situations, beyond just being big and fast?
Well, I think there's a level of physicality, too, that he brings where, sometimes there's going to be one unblocked guy, and his ability, either to make a miss or kind of run through the tackle is something that makes it even that much better.
Like, you do see some, bigger guys like him that aren't able to do that. So, I guess how hard is that to find, a guy who can, run with that physicality?
Yeah, I think there's obviously he's rare. We love having him in the game. Love when he gets those opportunities to do that. You saw him, make a couple guys missed in the open field as well this past week. So I think that anytime we get that opportunity, he's obviously a guy that when he can have the ball in his hands, there's an opportunity for a big play.
There's a stat out there. It's I think only 17-1 when he gets 7 carries in a game. You think that's just because the way those games go that he gets more?
I think sometimes when you're converting on third down, you're getting more plays, you're extending drives, there's more opportunities. I think sometimes there's also games where maybe the defense might be dictating exactly. Maybe there's times where might be a call for him and he's getting us out of the play or he's handing the ball off or things. He's reading an end or something. But again, I think that obviously that stat's out there. I think anytime he has an opportunity to carry the ball, you feel pretty good about what's going to happen.
Pete, how does Mike Thomas's presence affect the offense? How does it influence what you guys are able to do?
Oh, I think that Mike Thomas, you have an opportunity to throw the ball to him one-on-one. I think that you're confident that he's the guy that's going to come down with the ball. I think that he's been a great leader for that room, and I think on the sidelines, on game day, he's been great, been positive, and I think that that wears on the other players in a great way. That there's energy, there's excitement. So I think that again, we're glad we got him and feel confident anytime the ball has a chance to be in his hands.
Why do you think the offensive line play has improved so much over the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think Doug and Kevin have done a great job with those guys. I think just more time they get together. I know we've had to mix up a few lineups here and there, but I think that they've been playing well, particularly the last few games, and I think that they're all on the same page. They're playing well as a unit, I think, and I think Eric's doing a great job with the communication, getting everybody on the same page.
Speaking of goal line, how did you guys land on Saunders being in that fullback role? I know you guys had an injury, but...
Yeah, I think it started with the injury and then kind of discussion among the coaching staff to include the defensive coaches. Hey, let's kind of think about it. Who do we have on the team that we feel maybe can fill that role? And there was a few names thrown out, but he's done a good job for us, and we're very confident for that role for him.
There's jumbo packages, but if you look at kind of what you do with Taysom being in there, especially it's the size of it. What does that kind of bring to you guys, just having a line that big, and can it kind of counteract maybe defenses playing?
I think it gives you numbers of, they're going to try to maybe outnumber you a little bit, I think, but there's always maybe going to be one extra because obviously you got the guy carrying the ball. But I think that it brings a physical presence with all those guys, and that also fits how we see Taysom being a physical runner. Again, he can still make some guys miss in the open field, but I think that package is particular to, hey, it's going to be a physical battle, and let's go win it up front.
Was Saunders campaigning for that?
I wouldn't say. I think it was, I don't know, maybe, guys on the team, he's obviously a guy that everybody loves, fired up when he gets his chances to get out there. I don't know, there's probably a few guys that would love to be in that role, but again, I think he's done a good job, and he's earned it to keep doing it.
Has he begged you to get a carry yet?
Well, I think that's it. I think there's a lot of the old linemen beg for it too, but I think that obviously the role that he's doing for us, we're happy with.
Pete, I can't remember if anyone's asked you about the tush push before, but I thought of it because Alvin compared Taysom to that. What do you do when you see something like that that's so effective? Have you guys tried it in practice, and why is it harder for other teams?
I think it's a combination when you study them and how they do it. I mean, obviously they do a great job with their front. They stay low. They get off the ball. Obviously the quarterback's great at it as well. I think that I'm sure everybody has studied it, and some teams, I think, have tried to incorporate it throughout the season. As you're watching it, obviously Philly obviously has a ton of success with it, so they should keep doing it. Sometimes when we talk about it, and some people might say, oh, it's a great role for maybe Taysom to do. And, sometimes in the middle of the game, do you want him to go in and take a snap under center that he hasn't taken one all. So, but it's been discussed. It's, something we've practiced in the past in training camp this past season. But obviously Philly's had a ton of success with it, and I think they do a great job as well. They're well coached with how they do it, and the offensive linemen come off the ball, and I think the quarterback's strong physical that pushes the pocket.
It just reminded me of what you guys used to have with Breeze, where it's like his QB sneak was something like 29 out of 30 or something.
Yeah,
It was even higher than
and
that.
I know when he would get down on the goal line, he was, up and over. But I think that, he finding the holes for Drew he did a great job with that.
When you have a player, the concept of, like Chris Olave had that missed out on the big play when it bounced off of him. I know Derek went back to him on the very next play. I think he went back to him.
He did.
On the first one of the next series too. Are there moments in a game where you're like, as a play caller, you decide, I want to get that guy's head right back in the game. I want to go right back to him.
Yeah, I think there was, hey, let's get him going. But I think really two different calls. One was second down, and then really the third down call just happened to be, hey, we got the coverage that the ball went there. And then, as you're talking about, the next call was obvious, hey, let's get him going and find a completion, maybe not necessarily downfield, but just but again, I think that the fact that there was a sequence there for second and third down, it wasn't
Maybe that next series was.
Yeah, I mean, it was just talk on the sideline, say let's find a completion or whatever it is. But there's discussions about any time in a game to get it going, I think. But again, on the second and third down, it was just the second down call was designed for him, and then the third down could have been specific to coverage.
With Chris in particular, I mean, he said the other day he feels like he's one big game away. I mean, how much does that weigh in you when you have a player that you just kind of want to unlock that you're looking for the right play, the right series, the right game that does do that?
Yeah, I think that obviously I think that I have all the confidence in the world that if his number's called, that the ball he's going to come down with the ball. I think it's just a matter of just again continuing give him those opportunities, and I think that that one game is going to come where it's his numbers are ridiculous, but I think again it's just it's one game at a time. We got to get it going, and so I think that's part of us as coaches making sure he has those opportunities.
Pete, last year we saw this team as a team, but also on the offensive side, kind of ride a little bit of the roller coaster, right? Like the win and followed by a couple of losses, things like that. What about the win in Indianapolis this past weekend gives you all confidence that you're at the sustained success that you found towards the end of last season?
Yeah, I think again it's one game, and again we gotta find a way offensively to put more than just one game together. It can't be up and down like you're saying. I think that there's always been a lot of confidence with this group. I think we feel good about the personnel, and I think we feel good about the game plan that we're putting together. We have a great relationship with the players, and I think that just the talk of, hey guys, it's time to. We can't just have one game and then come. We gotta find a way to start stringing some of these together.
And how important? I mean, last year that you hit the 3-game win streak towards the end of the year that almost got you where you wanted to go. How important is it to maybe find that success here and now?
Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's been too long. That we haven't been able to be consistent enough. Game after game after game. But I think that obviously we got a big challenge this week with the defense that we're seeing, but again, it's important for us to, just not let it be an up and down roller coaster.
Pete, what stands out about the Bears defense to you?
I think that when you look at them, they're stout against the run. I think their linebackers tackle well. When you look back at the back end, there's a lot of ball production from that group. I think they're physical, they're tough, they compete, and obviously they got a good addition this week that's an impact player that's disruptive.
You guys were so much more successful in the red zone. Do you think you unearthed some things from taking a hard, long look at it, or just?
I don't know. I think that just things worked out, and we players made some big time plays. And again, you look at some of them, and maybe maybe not necessarily maybe the best call or what, but the players found a way to execute and make plays.
And a lot more reliance on the run game. Was that by design that you saw you could do more of that, or?
Yeah, I think that I think it's always been kind of a point of emphasis. Hey, for us to have success in the red zone, we got to be able to run it. And so I think, but really the way that game flowed, when our third down was better, we still felt like we could have been better than it was. But I think when you're continuing to sustain some drives, it gives you an opportunity to call some more plays and some more runs, particularly.
What made you confident that 3rd and 13 call to take the shot to Shaheed?
I just thought opportunity-wise, it was a situation where we also know the ball comes out quickly. The last thing we wanted to do was maybe take a sack there. And when you're just, going vertical there on that situation, 3rd and 13, you got to get a big chunk. It's a chance for a first down conversion, but it's also one where the quarterback's going to take a 3-step drop from gun and the ball's up and out. And so you're not holding on to it. And we were fortunate to get the look that we got. And Rashid got by him, and Derek made a great play.
How encouraging is it for you on the offensive side to have all together now, Alvin Kamara, Jamal Williams, and Kendre Miller seemingly like full go?
Yeah, I think we're feeling really good about having all three of them. And again, I've said this before, when we've been at our best, you've really had that combination of guys that you can mix. And it doesn't necessarily have to be specific to a play, but maybe sometimes it does. But when a guy's out there, you have confidence in whoever's out there that they're going to get the job done. I thought all three of them played well when they had their opportunities, and I thought they all had some good runs. Now, obviously, the numbers were a little bit, more Alvin but still, giving those guys more and more opportunities is what we'd like to do.
And does that help with the usage of Alvin Kamara? I know last year y'all had to run him between the tackles so much. He had to be the bell cow guy.
Yeah, I think when you come out of a game like the week prior, his numbers were really high, and it was something that we had to look at and make sure that, you got a long season and making sure all three guys are involved.
And when you have an offense with this many playmakers, I think it's been a while since there's been 3 wide receivers that are this productive. How much of an emphasis is that throughout the week and during the game? It's like, okay, we need to make sure we get everyone.
Well, I think that obviously as you're putting the game plan together, you got a list of, hey, they might be Chris Olave plays and they might be Mike Thomas plays, but it doesn't necessarily mean the ball is going to go there, maybe depending on the coverage that you get. But I think that there's a lot of guys, like you're saying, that we're confident if their number's called that we're going to execute and make the play. But I think, there's a lot of guys that are deserving of having the ball in their hands.
Alvin said after the game that sometimes he feels like that option route is something that he just wants to say, just throw it in there and let us try it. Is that something you feel you have to pull yourself back from too, just knowing how effective that's been historically? Yeah,
I think obviously it's been a big part of what his completions have been over the years. And, there's opportunities when the opportunities are available that the defense presents itself for the ball to go to him in those situations. You feel pretty confident.
And for Alvin in particular, the first 3 years of his career, 81 catches, then the 83. In the last 2 years has been kind of limited in that regard. This year he's kind of back on that pace. Do you feel like his role in the passing game is where it needs to be right now?
Yeah, I think when you come out of the games, again, it's another guy that you're thinking, hey, opportunity to get the ball in his hands. But I think that he's always been effective when he's been the primary or when he's been found as maybe a third in the progression check down type situation where he'll catch in advance. So I think, again, him being involved in the pass game is a good thing.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay. I see you all later.